What's up, guys? This is Kyrie with White Rabbit Psychedelics, and I get a lot of questions of, is it safe? If I take a microdose capsule, will I go crazy? I'm a little weary. So I just wanted to do a quick little video on what happens when you take a pill, and just let you know that nothing crazy is gonna happen, nothing weird is gonna happen. I got a capsule right here. This is pure grade A, psilocybin. I'm gonna take a capsule, and I'm gonna just show you guys that just nothing can happen. Huh.
Colostrum is a really thin sheet of gray matter in the brain, tucked deep within each of the hemispheres of the brain.
Fred believes the clostrum's central location and shape suggest it regulates communication between the departments.
What happens next is that we seem to observe a radical change in the way that brain regions talk to each other. And it may be within this context that we're experiencing learning and a possible even rewiring of the circuits that govern our behavior. And it may be that it's that radical reorganization that allows people to encounter new psychological insights that they hadn't encountered before.
It's almost like they've seen this kind of grand menu within their mind that they weren't aware of, that this greater number of possibilities that they can explore.
It's like reprogramming the operating system of a computer. You're getting down to very basic code level changes that can enduringly change someone going forward.
Peace to the tribe, peace to the collective. It's the Hood Mystic with another episode of The Truth is Stranger Than Fiction. Today we will be going over the connection between Kanye West, Kyrie Irving, and what's the other Kate? Kobe Bryant. We're going to add in some Drake and a couple of guest stars. For those who don't know what we do on The Truth is Stranger Than Fiction, I get on Al Gore's internet and I just kind of search for stuff and I make these weird connections and then I try to make it bring home a larger point. Part of this is to let you know that all of the stuff that you're watching on TV, all of the stuff you're watching on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, in reference to these celebrities is very much scripted. So when you have an opinion on it, it's fine. We can talk about the play, we can talk about the movie, but at the same time, we know that these are actors, so we don't take it too serious. And yeah, man, I just want to bring up these connections, man. Last night, I did a video on the lunar eclipse. I hope you guys checked that video out. And right after, I just was sitting with myself. And I just started searching for shit. And it took me about 5 minutes. And then I just was like, all right, stop. Because it was just becoming to be a overload. So I'm not going to keep y'all. I'm going to just go over these points. It might make sense to y'all. It might not make sense. It might only make sense to me. I'm well aware of that. But I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed this content. So the first thing, Drake put out a CD on Friday called Her Loss. Her Loss equals 96 in ordinal Gematria. Other words that equal 96, Freemason, funerals, Atlantis, and we can just find some matches. Guess not. But anyways, Gematria is a tool that I use to kind of open myself up to see if there is more to it than meets the eye. And usually, if I search for Her Loss and I got something and didn't find no connections, I would have left the video alone. However, I felt like it had a lot of connections in reference to Offset passing away not too earlier in the week, and then Drake putting out the CD. Now we're representing eclipse season, so that's new beginnings and completion. Things coming to an end. So you think of when you listen to the CD Her Loss, it's really weird. He's talking a lot about different artists, and he's mentioning Jay Prince, and Jay Prince had something to do or was involved in some way to Offset's death. Drake, his whole career is based upon Jay Prince Jr. discovering him on MySpace. So what you have is the beginning of his career, and then you have the end of Takeoff's life. So I think this is probably one of the best songs on the album, Middle of the Ocean. It's just Drake kind of rapping, and it's like a lot of different types of beats. And then at the end, Birdman come and do like a little serenade or just kind of like do a little outro. Pretty dope track. Now, this caught my eye. The last time I ate there, Wayne was doing numbers off the cup like Yahtzee. Now, for those people who are young might not know what Yahtzee is. Yahtzee is a game that's played with dice, right? And then if you have more than one dice, is called die. Okay. So in the verse, last time I ate there, Wayne was doing numbers off the cup like Yahtzee. And then you have Takeoff loses his life at a dice game in Houston. So this bar, somehow, in a magical, mystical way, Yahtzee played with dice, multiple dice. And as soon as you heard about Offset transition, they were saying a dice game. So they were shooting dice, or they were shooting die, and Offset died from a shooting death. He died shooting. So shooting die, like shooting dice, and then being shot with a gun, and you transition shooting die. Very interesting wordplay. And then further on in the verse, Drake goes on to say, Quavo might have sent me a song that he called Versace. So he's referencing the beginning of the Migos' career and how Drake basically put them on with the song Versace, right? Their first hit single, if you want to count Bando is a pretty big song. They probably had other songs, but the song that put them on the map was a song called Versace. And it goes like this. Versace, Versace, Medusa head on me like I'm Illuminati. Could just be wordplay. But then when you watch how this thing unfolds, where the untimely death and the untimely transition in the midst of the middle of a ritual, and these rituals aren't something that are really quick. They can work a ritual on you for years and years and years. It's all about how you start and how you end. So when your first single is Versace, who is Versace? Versace is a clothing designer who died during eclipse season, referencing the energy that we're in now. Summer eclipses and winter eclipses. We're in a winter eclipse. Versace was a fashion designer. Kanye West, fashion designer. Just adding that in there because the Migos' first song is called Versace, and he died a violent death. And one of their members, like the Beatles, John Lennon, even though he didn't transition from being shot, he did get shot. And if you don't understand, the Migos is our version of the Beatles, right? The same rituals that they do for the Beatles is going to be the same rituals that they do for the Migos, so they can be ascended into legendary status like said group, the Beatles. All right. So yeah, just connecting violent death, using these tropes, saying stuff like Illuminati in your music, saying Gianni Versace, making millions off of Gianni Versace. And then, like a cycle, when you live by the sword and then you die by the sword, it's gonna be a little weird. So Drake is known for being somewhat of a grim reaper. The story of him and XX Tentacion was he had a XXX Tentacion had a flow, and Drake stole that flow, and that what started they beef. Somehow, some way, this dude was either psychic or he was getting a lot of money, paying a lot of investigators. He managed at a young age, 19 to 18, 19, to get a lot of information about Drake. And I would say like him and Drake really didn't like each other. Like really, to the point that Drake he put out a whole CD called Scorpion, and it's a lot of songs that allude to Triple X. So yeah, I'm upset. The song is called I'm Upset, in reference to his energy at the time, in reference to XX Tentacion. Got a lot of bad blood in this code. And it's a real happy song. He got all of his people in the video, they all dancing. But this, I noticed this trope in music. Andre 3000 did the same trope with Hey Y'all. Hey Y'all is a very happy song, right? Like the beat and energy, but the lyrics is very like dark. He like, y'all don't want to hear me, y'all just want to dance, right? So this is a song like that. So he be like, I go out on tour and they say I'm drinking less, end up getting loose and getting pictures from my XXX SMS triple X, right? XX Tentacion. That's the only time I ever shoot below the neck. XX Tentacion got shot in the neck and supposedly transitioned. So moving along. So you got Drake, J Prince Jr., and you got J Prince. I'm bringing up Jazz Prince Jr. in that whole mob ties, stuff like that, because them was the same people who was there when Offset lost his life. That's a coincidence because it could have been literally millions of people that could have been there. Why was J Prince there? And J Prince and Drake have a real close, tight affiliation. But find it also weird, what started this whole ritualistic distraction energy was when Kanye West was talking about Jewish people. But I find it also interesting that Drake is Jewish. Takeoff. I apologize. Sorry for that. If I'm saying Offset, if I'm saying Quavo, I really mean Takeoff. And I'll explain a little bit of that too. Weird connection on that. But yeah, Drake is Jewish. I didn't realize it until I just was thinking. I was laying in bed and I was like, wait a second, ain't Drake Jewish? So I was watching like some old interviews and he was just more or less saying how he don't care about his religion. Like if you look it up, then it's going to be there. It's and really you can't really feel for people in reference to things that are on the television screen or on the internet. It's real things happening all the time and people don't never feel for shit. It's just real interesting. I'm gonna just share this. You know, I lost the mother of my children. She died at an early age, and it was me and my two children, and nobody ever gave a fuck, right? And if it was worded a certain type of way, and I know if it was sensationalized, and the media told y'all to feel sorry for Kyrie, then y'all would. And I'm saying that to say, don't pick and choose who you feel sorry for based upon sensationalized stories, because there's somebody who feels sorry that you could feel sorry for that's probably right next door to you, right? It's somebody that you walking past every day that you could send positive energy for, but because they are so elaborate and so smart with their rituals that we never even realize that we're in the midst of a ritual by sending out energy that we could be using more wisely. So, saying all of this to say, Drake is a Jewish person. And that's a very interesting thing that I don't think people really never talk about. Kanye and Drake had beef, right? I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I'm going Death Con 3 on Jewish people. The funny thing is that I actually can't be anti-Semitic because black people are actually Jew. Also, you guys have toyed with me and tried to blackball anyone who ever opposes your agenda. If he's writing this, y'all gotta understand he not writing that because he really feel that way, because he's a celebrity. He's an actor. He's a government agent. And everything subsequent to that, give me 1 second. The Kyrie thing, everything after that is not because they're having this huge awakening of some sort. They're just following a script and using the distraction to deal with our energy. And the reason that they do these rituals and do these energies, because you got to really think about it. You're not going to the record store, going in, using your debit card to buy a CD. Very few people are buying music off of Apple Music and buying CDs. So the music industry might not make any money except the insurance claims, right? Their insurance claims might be their overall profit. And it's not, and it's, black artist transition, white artist transition, K-pop artist transition, artists in general transition. It's called the 27 Club. The way that these things work is that it's a business, and these people are not really interested in anything but the bottom line. And it's a small select group of people who even have the opportunity that can sign a contract. But usually that small group of people are the geniuses, are the people that are talented, that even get the opportunity to sell their soul, because their soul is very valuable. And once you sign all of your energy over, you begin to work for this company and produce sonic tones, frequencies, artistic vision, and you get paid pennies on the cent. I didn't even say that right. It's not even an amount of money that you could go to the store and have a name for the amount of money that your favorite rock stars and artists, like 0.004 cents on a song. One song, they don't even get a penny. Think about that. Think about that. But the music somehow generates in the realms of intellectual property. It generates billions upon trillions of dollars that the artists are the last people to eat. So let's connect Kyrie Irving to Drake. And we're going to add another K in here, Kehlani. Kyrie's claim to fame, his first time being on the national stage, minus basketball, is dating a young lady named Kehlani. Kyrie Irving was in love with Kehlani, but Kehlani was in love with Drake's artist, Party Next Door. I find this to be an interesting connection because out of all of the women on the planet, out of all of the artists on the planet, out of all of the record labels, you have the actor, Kyrie Irving, performing with the actor slash musician, multi-talented circle of small elites. If you Kyrie Irving, you can date anybody in the world. If you Drake, you can date anybody in the world. If you Party Next Door, you can date anybody in the world. You don't have to play these internet games and posting pictures of, oh, Kehlani is in the bed with Party Next Door. And when that situation happened, it utterly crushed Kyrie Irving. So, love triangle complete. Party Next Door, Drake. And really just going point for point. And just making these small, subtle connections. So, back to Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving is getting bashed for just simply sharing a video or a book that's already out. And we know in the book of Revelation, they talk about synagogue of Satan. What is that verse? Because that is what's coming to my mind a lot of times when all of this stuff is happening. Revelation 3:9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not. Y'all see that? One's in the chat if y'all see that. One's in the chat if y'all see that. This is the biggest ritual of all time. This is the biggest distraction of all time. And it's a simple understanding. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. But do lie. Behold, I will make them come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee. This was all I would say in my interviews if I was Kyrie Irving. Behold, I will make them of a synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. When this was written in the Bible, whoever put this out, whoever was writing this, they was like, oh, this shit hot right here. This is some hot fire right here, nigga. Wait till I put this shit out, nigga. Wait till I put this shit out. This is one of my best works. Hey, did you read Revelation 3:9? Hell yeah, nigga, that shit was fire, nigga. You said, behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. That's all that's happening right now. And we're going to explain it a little further. Takeoff, a member of rap group Migos, fatally shot outside private party in Houston. So let's get into this rabbit hole. As I stated earlier, you got the J Prince Jr., Takeoff in Houston transition. Kind of like when you hear these old mythologies about Baron Samedi or Papa Legba, and I don't know if they're true or not, right? I don't know if they're true, but I hear the stories and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. The stories are, hey man, I'm gonna give you this money. I'm gonna give you this success. I'm gonna give you this prestige. I'm gonna give you all of the things you need. But you gotta give me them bodies. And I'm not saying that that's the case, but if you do your research, you'll see this is not the first time something like this has happened. Takeoff in Houston, in the midst of all of the other distractions and rituals that's happening, they use these deaths, Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, XXXTentacion, PNB Rock, you name it. They use these deaths as batteries for other rituals that they're going on in the background. And so when you say Houston, Takeoff, you also saying NASA, right? But we don't say NASA no more because that's not the latest and greatest illusion. That's not the latest and greatest illusion. Right now, the latest and greatest illusion is Elon Musk. Elon Musk is the new NASA. Elon Musk is the new, we went to the moon, but we really didn't go to the moon. We just used people like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Medgar Evers, as batteries for our rituals. Now, Houston, Takeoff, NASA, Elon Musk buys Twitter, fires everybody. But Elon Musk also owns SpaceX, rockets, Takeoff. All of these particular words, word salad, and things that are supposedly happening, my bet is that they're actually not happening and the world's a stage. And the men and the women that are on the stage are merely actors. I think if you probe any of this shit with a fine-tooth comb, you will find them living in different countries, having a completely different experience than the experience that we are having. Us as Americans, they work very hard on creating a matrix for us. And Elon Musk also started another company in reference to the Neuralink, where he wants to put a chip in your brain. And from that, I don't know what's going to happen after that. I can only imagine. I can only imagine what would happen. Developing an ultra high bandwidth brain machine interfaces to connect humans and computers. When we say all men and women are just stage actors, they are actors for the Illuminati. I'm sorry, they're actors for artificial intelligence. These people don't actually exist like you think they exist, because they are creating a narrative. They're creating a world to capture your mind. And there's shit going on in your neighborhood that you probably don't really care about, but you care more about this type of shit, because this is the type of shit that's sensationalized. So You can't talk about Elon Musk without talking about Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, another character, right? This person doesn't exist.com. Y'all ever seen this before? This person doesn't exist.com. This person doesn't exist.com. This person doesn't exist.com. These are all computer generated people. One's in the chat if these look like normal people that would exist somewhere. One's in the chat if y'all can understand the science of this shit. This person does not exist.com. Okay. So let's get back to Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos says, shit, let's run the play. Let's have Kyrie post a book that's on my site that I'll be selling, making money off of. Right? Amazon continues to carry it. Right? I want y'all to pay attention to this. The true ethnicity of Abraham. Watch how this plays out. Another reason that they doing these rituals and these distractions, because these rituals and distractions, they get people on Instagram, they get people on Facebook, they get people on YouTube, they get people back on their devices to talk about it, to do videos. People watch the videos. To the point now is that the only thing that people really interested in, and it's sad to say, is when black men die. When black men die, people start talking. Shaq owns a theater. Cityplex. Shaq. I said shape. Shaquille O'Neal's theater shows Kyrie Irving's anti-Semitic movie. And y'all really might think that Shaquille O'Neal don't like Kyrie Irving, but I'm telling you, they are all actors. This is all a part of the script. You don't think that, like, after come on now. It's all to be super sensationalized, and they'll even make it to whereas Kyrie Irving is a good person and Shaq is a bad person. So you could champion for Kyrie and hate Shaq. They'll do it like that because they want the story to be compelling. So let's connect Kanye West to Kobe Bryant. Give me a second. Hold on. Hold up. What would you do?
How much more do you want from me?
More.
How much more successful do you want me to be?
More successful.
How many records can my records break?
More records.
But I'm the best.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
What the does that mean, Kobe Bryant?
You're welcome.
What the is he talking about?
Once again, showing you that they're all actors and they're all working together in cahoots. So you got now Kyrie Irving and Kobe Bryant are really, really close. So now you connecting Kyrie to Kanye West, and then Kyrie Irving, Kanye West Twitter post. Hours after the Brooklyn Nets and Kyrie released a joint statement vowing $500,000, $500,000, and it's black people. Listen, it's black people on their ass, but somehow they got $1 million to give these people for a nigga who posted an Instagram post or a Twitter post. Y'all gonna really have to make it make sense. There's single mothers out here, single fathers out here. It's black orphans. How many kids have lost their mom to drug overdoses, lost their dads to drug overdoses, fentanyl, the opioid crisis. And I'm just laying out real shit that happened, and nobody vowed $500,000 for shit. They just letting it happen. And all this nigga gotta do is post a picture of a book, and now he giving $500K. Ye, who sparked major controversy over his anti-Semitic tweet, posting an image of Irving with no context early Thursday morning. The tweet was Ye's first since his account was restricted over his anti-Semitic remarks. Right? So this is the picture that Kyrie posted. So you got Kyrie, Kanye, and then you have their connection to Kobe. So another interesting thing, you got LeBron James, who publicly denounced Kyrie Irving and told him, like, you know, we don't do the hate. But then if you look at LeBron James' stories, he's always listening to hip hop music, always working out to hip hop music. And in hip hop music, they don't talk about nothing besides killing black people and fucking my girlfriend. Why do y'all want to fuck my girlfriend all the time? I fuck your bitch, I'ma kill this nigga. I'ma fuck this bitch, I'ma kill this nigga. That's all LeBron listens to on his stories. And he never received backlash for that. And when you talk about the music, it really hurt mamas who lose their sons to gun violence. That really does hurt. That really does cause hurt and pain. And nobody received backlash from the moms who are crying, who wake up knowing that their son died over nothing. Their son died over a frequency. And people like LeBron James get championed. So I'm not bashing, I'm just saying, keep it a buck, keep it 100. That post did not hurt nobody. And if it did, take the post down, block him from Twitter, block him from Instagram, but don't suspend him for 5 games, right? That will only be something to incite rage. All right, so this is another reason that I know this thing is scripted. And this is another thing that I know, like, a lot of this shit, they be really trolling me. And I'm not making myself sound important. LeBron James, his star players, right? They could have been named Robert. They could have been named Kelly. They could have been named Jason. They could have been named Thomas. They could have been named Frank. It was a whole selection of star players that this man could have been teammates with. But y'all tell me why, when he was in Cleveland, his teammate was Kyrie, and when he was in Los Angeles, he had Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, somebody else. He had some studs. He got rid of those studs to get somebody whose name is Anthony. Now, Kyrie, Anthony, Davis, we gotta stop this interview to talk, or stop this video to reference the energy of Davis. I meant to start it, but I didn't. It kind of got sidetracked. But the energy of David is the spirit that orchestrates all of this. The same David from the Bible, King David, Jesus is a descendant of David. In the mythos, in the Judeo-Christian lore, the God of the Bible, his name is actually David. If you read the Bible, they talk a lot about David. David wrote the Psalms. David is a spirit. Characteristics of this spirit is your good is bad and your bad is good. And if you don't understand the nature of the spirit, you would be highly confused. An example would be, you could be a good person that saved lives, saved souls, and you broke as shit. You don't got $2, but you are a very good person. That's the spirit of David. Or you could be a prostitute, but you are like a very good prostitute and you like really do healing work and your clients really love you. That's the spirit of David. So a lot of athletes, a lot of entertainers, a lot of people who are doing certain things like a Cardi B would be a worker for David. They're good and they're bad. And human beings, we real good at scapegoating and pigeonhole and classifying people as good and bad, because we ultimately view ourselves as benevolent gods. Right? So, and when you talk about the Jewish religion in the Old Testament, a lot of that mythos and a lot of their understandings are predicated by an energy called David. Now, keep this in mind. Now, the Lakers are in Los Angeles. Exactly. They're this is funny. I'm just reading these comments. Now, the Lakers are in Los Angeles, but they're not, they didn't start in Los Angeles. They started in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And that energy is Nanabohzo. That's the spirit of Nanabohzo. Now, the story of Nanabohzo is a long, long story. And I was working with Nanabohzo for a long time. And then a lot of stuff started happening in Minneapolis. George Floyd, Black Lives Matter, and the ritual that went down there is still happening now. Like the reverberations of the ritual still happening. Because when Kanye West gets on the Drink Champs to start saying George Floyd, that's to re-trigger the ritual, to incite the fervor that is not as strong as it first happened, but the main part of this ritual was mainly into evoking the Nanabohzo energy. So Nanabohzo, Minneapolis, just to give you some context, because these energies are sometimes geomantic figures, meaning that they reside in space and time, right? So Nanabohzo or Nanabush is a spirit and figures prominently in their storytelling, including the story of the world's creation. Nanabohzo is an OBGY trickster figure and a culture hero, right? Talking about George Floyd. In the spirit, when they do rituals on people, it might be a crackhead, it might be a wino. It don't matter about their physical attributes. When they do rituals on people, they are not dealing with the flesh and blood. Another scripture is coming to me. We don't war with flesh and blood. Listen to this. Do y'all see this? For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Do y'all see that? So, yes, a nigga might be a crackhead, but when this whole thing is playing out, you dealing with some energy. You dealing with some spirit. So let's go. Just a real quick conjuring mini haha. The Song of Hiawatha, which is a great Indian chief, Minneapolis, in the hidden message of manifest destiny. I'm gonna make this make sense in a second. Significant Minneapolis place names come from Henry Wadsworth Longfellow's epic poem, The Song of Hiawatha. Go down further. The Song of Hiawatha was published in 1855, the year after Minneapolis was officially recognized as a town. Later, Minneapolis leaders took characters from the Song of Hiawatha as namesakes for lakes, streets, and parks, embedding manifest destiny into the city's fabric. So if y'all understand, they did an Osirian ritual. Like if you drive in your city, you might see Seminole Street or Hiawatha Boulevard or Lake Minnehaha. And these are ancient mythological energies that have been stripped away from us and wore on other people like some damn sheepskin. The poem closed with the approach of a birch canoe to Hiawatha's village, containing the priest of prayer, the paleface. Hiawatha welcomes him joyously, and the black-robed chief brings word of Jesus Christ. Hiawatha and the chiefs accept the Christian message. Hiawatha bids farewell to the warriors and the young men giving them this charge. But my guess I leave you basically saying that when Christians came to this country, we said, fuck our history. We said, fuck our mythology. And because that is not true, right? Because that is not true, they have to do these rituals on specific land, geomantic places. And one of the places is Minneapolis. And one of the things was the George Floyd ritual, Black Lives Matter. All of this shit that happened with that was a huge, gigantic ritual. And one of the components of these rituals was the awakening of Nanabohzo. Before this happened, I was working with Nanabohzo. I was working with White Rabbits. I named my company White Rabbit in honor of Nanabohzo because the energy was so strong. I'm going to tell y'all the truth. Nanabohzo is the same rabbit that worked with Hugh Hefner and Dick Gregory. So when they transitioned, Nanabohzo said, my spirit is now up for grabs. I said, I'll take it. And the rest is history. The same success that Dick Gregory had with working with the rabbit, I mean, it's not going to be overnight, but working with the White Rabbit is going to get you the same success. And I'm not saying I'm the only person that can work with it. I'm just letting y'all know this is spirits. These is energies. And the scripts and the rituals is only blocking you from the underlying things. And that's why I do these videos. So yeah, Black Lives Matter, Minnesota, George Floyd. Now, the crazy reverse racism play was done by Candace Owens and her husband to manipulate Kanye West, to manipulate Kyrie Irving to be the ultimate crash dummies. Because Candace Owens put out a documentary called The Greatest Lie Ever Told before a few days before any of this happened. Ray J was there, Kanye West was there, everybody watching this documentary, and that documentary put jumper cables in Kanye West's back to then put on a White Lives Matter. Why do Candace Owens got on a White Lives Matter? Because her husband is a her husband get down on that side of town, right? So she gonna rock it. Why Kanye West wearing it? Cause she inspired him to crash the fuck out. If it wasn't for her, Kanye West would still be irrelevant. Kyrie Irving would be strapping up his goddamn Nikes, getting ready to play the goddamn Sacramento Kings or some shit. And when all of this visceral tirades is going at Kanye West and Kyrie Irving, y'all don't got no smoke for her. Shout out to the White Rabbit. Zero smoke. So be careful. Be careful who give you your messaging. Be careful who people are married to. Because Candace Owens got a new YouTube channel, 100,000 subscribers, millions of views, all to spew whatever her handlers tell her ass to spew. But I also see the beauty in this ritual. It gives people the ability to connect to their Atlantean root origins. It brings the awareness to Larry Hoover. And more than Larry Hoover, we want to bring our awareness to King David Barksdale. Okay, so we got King David. Y'all see that? King David. I'm just letting you know that energy is real. One's in the chat if y'all believe that energy is real. Do y'all believe that energy is real, or do y'all not believe that energy is real? I'm confused. You got King David. You got King David. And you got Larry Hoover. David Barksdale is also known as King David, was an American gang leader from Chicago, Illinois. Kanye is from Chicago, okay. Young Dolph was born in Chicago, okay. Virgil Abloh, Chicago, okay. Virgil Abloh, Kanye West, okay. Barksdale was the founder of the Black Disciples. He and Larry Hoover decided to merge and create Black Gangster Disciple Nation. Do y'all see that? I'm gonna make this connection real quick. I'm gonna make this connection. I'm gonna end this video. I just want y'all to I just want to know if y'all see that. A second, give me a second. All right. So I started this video talking about ended talking about Drake. I don't want to show that shit. So Drake and Kanye West put a free concert together called Free Larry Hoover, right? And we all just read that Larry Hoover and King David decided to merge and create the Black Gangster Disciple Nation. King David has transitioned. Larry Hoover is still alive. So people are working to free Larry Hoover. This is the gang sign for the Black, hold on, I want to say it correctly. The Black Gangster Disciple Nation. Do y'all see where I'm going with this? We have the Poseidon energy, the Poseidon sigil, representing the great Atlantean brotherhood, the White Brotherhood. And we also have what? The Star of David, G-O-D, all encapsulated in this symbol. You know who's a GD? Kanye West is a GD. Kanye West is a... So, saying all of this to say, Kyrie Irving, Kanye West, they saying all of this stuff, and they're saying they the real Jews, but shouldn't they just say that they are the real Gangster Nation disciples? What's the difference between what came first, the chicken or the egg? The Atlantean, when the real Jews is the gangsters? What if the real Jews is Larry Hoover and David Barksdale? And what if this ritual is to block you from ever seeing the truth when it's right in front of your face? And it's not about any religion. It's not about any God. It's a very spiritual thing. And I know the spirit of David is real because I interface with the spirit of David on too many times. There's nothing that a person can tell me to say that this spirit is not real and that it's connected. The Star of David is the symbol for the Jewish community. Okay? And we've been using this symbol, and it was never anti-Semitic or nothing like that. So to me, it's all about the context. It's more about the understanding and more about the application of knowing who you are, quieting the mind, and perceiving the spiritual downloads and channels. This video was just that. I know it wasn't the most well produced and well thought out thing, but it is really a stream of consciousness and a channel from King David. Do y'all see the connections? The menorah is used in the Temple of Jerusalem and in many synagogues. This Jewish symbol, it is the standard symbol in synagogues. It is recognized as the symbol of Jewish community and is named after King David. Thank y'all for watching.
The colostrum is a really thin sheet of gray matter in the brain, tucked deep within each of the hemispheres of the brain.
Fred believes the clostrum's central location and shape suggest it regulates communication between the departments.
What happens next is that we seem to observe a radical change in the way that brain regions talk to each other. And it may be within this context that we're experiencing learning and a possible even rewiring of the circuits that govern our behavior. And it may be that it's that radical reorganization that allows people to encounter new psychological insights that they hadn't encountered before.
It's almost like they've seen this like kind of grand menu within their mind that they weren't aware of, that this greater number of possibilities that they can explore.
It's like reprogramming the operating system of a computer. You're getting down to very basic code level changes that can enduringly change someone going